Hello guys, this is Jones1035 with another Airsoft video. This will be a disassembly guide for your version 2 gearbox. I'm going to start by saying you're going to need an assortment of tools, which may include Allen wrenches, a screwdriver with a Phillips head or a flat head, but every gearbox is different. So let's get started with the disassembly. So this is how I usually start taking apart my gearbox. I start by taking the stock off, then the grip, and then splitting the receivers and getting the gearbox out that way. So for the stock, at least the full stock version, you will most likely be using a flathead screwdriver. So we're just going to start by taking that out. So it may take a little while to get it out, but there it is. Just put that away somewhere where you won't lose it. Then you're going to take off the stock. Obviously make sure your battery's out, and be careful because there are wires right there. And it should come out pretty easily. I do this very often on my guns, so that's why it was quite easy that time. And there's also going to be a little piece, right, like looking like this. You want to take that off and put that near the stock also. This next part is where your Allen wrenches may come in handy. This is a Magpul MOE grip, which I'm going to be taking off, which inside of here will be your engine. And you will need to take that out too, remove the wires from the contacts. And different pistol grips. I know the original JG M16 pistol grip that came with this used Phillips head. But once again, that'll be easy to make the decision because you will be the one doing this, not me. So once you have taken off the plate out of the grip here, pistol grip, can't use my words, you're going to see two contacts right here, and two wires on two contacts rather. And you just want to take them off. You may need needle nose for these, but usually the motor will be pretty close to the outside, which you shouldn't need any tools, but obviously it's not the case for this time. And then you'll remove your motor and place that aside. See that screw down there? You'll need to take that out. There will be one in the front part and one in the back part of the grip. So now you need to take that out. So after your grip is off, place that aside near all the screws that were with it. We're going to split the upper and lower receiver right now. You're going to have to take out the back pin right here and the front pin right here. Okay, so we'll push this one out and remove the other one with an Allen key. But yours may both be Allen key and they may both be push pins, but everything's different, everything's customized, so I'm going to split the receivers now, place upper receiver away, and also if you need to do work on your upper receiver, like put a new type bore barrel in, you can do that right now. And you will need to take this pin out now, and this pin, so I will do that, and we will move on. After removing both pins, obviously front, back, and the pin that was right here, which may come out easier depending which way these, I don't know, those like bevels I'm going to call them, not sure what to call them. But it's got texturing right there, so it gets a nice grip. But if you remember which way you put it in, if the texturing is on this side, then you're going to want to punch it out towards that side. Or just punch it out towards whichever side has the texturing, because that makes it way easier. And it won't scratch up your gearbox, and this won't actually slip out over time because you kind of punched it through both ways and wore it down. So after you move those two, you need to take out the magazine release right here, which once again may be Phillips head, may be Allen key. In my case it's an Allen key. Oops. And don't lose the spring. It won't pop out, but it's just something you obviously don't want to lose because springs are kind of not numerous in my house, so if I lose one I can't find it. Can't get another one. Oh, alright, it's out. And then your magazine release. You want to place that aside and remove your gearbox, which may take a little maneuvering, but shouldn't be too hard. Definitely don't pull too much. And that's it. Alright, now we're getting to the disassembly part of the gearbox. That was just for people who didn't know how to take apart their gun. But In my case, it is Phillips head all the way through, so I'm going to start out taking it apart with Phillips head with a different head so I don't strip these out. So remove all of your screws and place them in a fashion that looks exactly how the screws will be in the gearbox. So I'll show you when I'm done so you understand what I'm saying. But go ahead and remove all these screws and we'll go from there. So this is what I meant by having your screws all laid out in a fashion that was identical to how they would be inside of here. So you can see all these top screws are on the top. Then this screw goes there, that screw goes there. Those two down here near the grip, and that one in the back. Just so you don't forget which one goes where in case of the different threading and obvious differences in sizes. And now when you disassemble, or you've already taken out the screws, but further part of disassembly is kind of another tough part here. You're going to want to put 2 fingers here. This is exactly how I do it, and it seems to work fairly well. Put 2 fingers here, and then you're going to want to just pry apart the gearbox, or maybe loosen it up before you put your 2 fingers there, because it may be a little tough. Alright. And the piston just shot, that's what that was. The spring shot out the back. So next time you're going to want to put a screwdriver in here to jam it in between where the spring guide will be so it doesn't shoot out the back like it just did. And thankfully it didn't make a dent in the wall. Once you're at this part, and if this is your first time, it may be very intimidating, but just the number one thing I always say to any of my friends doing work on the gearboxes is take your time. That's a very big thing, because the first gearbox I took apart, I broke. So, the gears inside of here are, I don't know the names of them. It's not really that important unless you're talking to like a tech or something, but you're doing your own tech work right here. So this is the gear that connects to the motor, which comes in through the grip. This gear this is the anti-reversal latch, which stops it from going backwards when you're not shooting, and that's really hard to put back in. This gear just kind of transfers the energy from the first gear, and oh, that's cool. And it gives it to this gear right here, which has a bunch of cool little pieces on it. If I can get it out, I'm gonna remove the cylinder and piston and all that, and tappet plate, which kind of looks beat up actually. I just got this a year ago. So this gear pulls back the piston, and then it resets and just keeps going and going and going as much as you want to shoot. And this is what helps it stay in semi-automatic, this thing. It presses this and it lets the contact reset and shoot back, if you can see that. So that's kind of a, in a nutshell, explanation for your gearbox. But reassembly is all these steps in reverse order. The reason I'm doing this right now is to shim my gearbox, and I thought I'd make a video out of it. And this is a Matrix M120, I believe. I got it from eBay last year, and this so far is the only signs of wear. It's a bent tappet plate, which I really don't like the look of, and I might replace. But we're not talking about my gearbox, we're talking about yours. So you want to make sure these wires here, when you put it back together, don't get pinched. That's another thing that kind of holds you back. And if there's any signs of wear in this wire, like if any metal is exposed, like if it's nickel plated or just copper, if any is exposed, you want to get a new set, because your gearbox will soon just fail because there's not going to be current running through it, because your motor is going to run through it and eat it up. And you just want to make sure it lays as low as it possibly can. So that's another thing you want to check for. Just look for any signs of wear. But that's your basic disassembly guide. And reassembly is everything in reverse, which should be pretty easy once you've taken it apart. Any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. That's why they're there. Well, other than that, stay tuned for more airsoft.